Without realizing it, like so many of the themes on this album speak to the sadness and the grief that I've felt, but also the anger that this is our future, this is our life now.
Tasmanian-based muso Claire Ann Taylor is currently touring her latest album, Giving It Away. We got to sit down for a chat following her set at the Gumball Festival over the weekend. I started off by asking about some highlights from the tour so far.
It's been amazing, actually. Like, I think, you know, coming into this like strange territory of like a lot of venues like closing down and friends of mine cancelling shows because of low ticket numbers, I was like quite scared about the whole tour. Like beforehand, I booked this 40-date tour and then I started like quietly, you know, crapping my pants going, wow, how are we going to pull this off? And will anyone come? You know, just those normal kind of fears. But it's been amazing. Like the shows have been really well attended and like we've just had some beautiful nights on the road. I think Sydney was definitely a standout for me. That was one of those shows where I just felt like the audience was with us from the very first moment we started playing and it was like, it was a sold out show and we had like a standing ovation at the end. So that just felt really wholesome and but
very validating too, right? After you've worked so hard on this new album.
Yeah, that's it. It's like you put in so much love and so much time and you don't quite know if it's going to be heard or if it's going to be received well. It's always like that trepidation, just like going into a release of like, how am I going to go putting myself out there again? And then, you know, it's just such a vulnerable thing, I think, to make art and then put it out there for the world to critique. And it's always like that, vulnerability hangover, I think, you know, after releasing something. So just to have it connecting with people in a big way has been really amazing. Yeah.
And so you're on tour at the moment with your band and also your family, right?
Yeah.
What's it been like being on the road with your son and your husband?
Yeah, it's been really special. Like, I know, you know, in our case, like my son has a very serious disability. So he's got Angelman syndrome. So for me personally, it feels really nice to be not letting that disability define our lives. So I sort of made a conscious effort early on to go, hang on, like we don't have to let this just like rule our lives to the point where we can't follow our dreams. Like I still want to pursue our passions as long as we can make that work, you know. So it's been really beautiful to even be able to say, hey, we're able to do it right now. We might not be in a year or two because like we still don't know whether our son will walk. So the like physical toll of carrying him and that's like that takes its toll. But just having my husband and my son with me, it just feels really special because I know that potentially won't be able to do that later on. So like if I do tour in the future, it's probably going to have to be me on my own potentially just because of how hard it will get. So we're like, it just feels like, yes, I'm so glad we're seizing this moment. And I think that's one of the beautiful things that my son has taught me with his disability. It's that just to seize the day and don't like put off for tomorrow what you can do today, because I feel like there's so many things I would have like said, oh, we'll do it in 5 years, but we're like, we might not be able to, so let's do it now. So,
so look, you've just released this brand new album and it's been critically acclaimed already. Like everyone's bloody loving it. Can you tell me a little bit about what you were going through and the inspiration behind, you know, the album?
Yeah, so I mean, definitely like the story with my son, you know, like it was about 2 years ago when we got his diagnosis, and that that sort of sent me into like a real hole for a while there. And I think like without realizing it, like so many of the themes on this album speak to the sadness and the grief that I've felt, but also the anger that this is our future, this is our life now. Like, so like even some of the angrier songs on the album, like even though they're not sort of autobiographical in the storylines, there's definitely like this sense of release for me when I'm performing them live, because I'm able to just let go of some of that anger. And I think most parents who've been through something similar to us would really be able to relate to that, because it's I don't know, you just feel like kind of robbed of your innocence in a lot of ways when you get that kind of news. And you feel a little bit like, oh, why did we get this hand dealt to us? It just feels like a bit hard to take. So, but the album, like the title track, like it ended up being Giving It Away. This is the name of the album. And that actually, again, comes back to like that very personal stage of grief that I went through. So I remember one night just sitting at my piano and just like howling all of my pain and grief into the piano.
Wow.
And it was like a really big moment for me. And I remember like writing this this piano ballad, Giving It Away. And at the time I was like drinking too much because I was in a, pretty dark place.
Yeah.
But so there was like a sense of like giving away my vices to be a more present mum. But there was also what I came to realise, that giving it away also represents a giving away of my innocence and that feeling of like, you feel like everything will work out in life, but when it doesn't, it's sort of like it does rob you of that innocence. So that the meaning behind the album name is sort of come to represent different things for me. So, yeah.
All right. Well, look, before I let you go, I'd love to know, what's your gumball experience been like?
It's been amazing. Yeah. I mean, I just feel like gumball for me, it just feels like a bit of a homecoming of sorts. Like it's just the community have always been very supportive of my music here. Like I feel like I've played here I think maybe 3 times over the years now. I think this is my 4th time, not always at Gumball, but at like Skyline, or they did another one, Pigsty in July years ago.
Yes.
Yeah. So I've played here a few times. So coming back here and finally coming back with my own band and my family in tow just feels really special, because I always talk this place up to people. And
how can you not? Hey?
Exactly. It's so magical.
Yeah.
So finally being able to go, hey guys, like this is what I've been telling you about, and they're frothing. So it's really nice.
That's so good. It's been such an honour to talk to you. Thank you so much for taking some time.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me.
No worries.